check out these spicy patch notes.
This is called Demon Loop. And this is an indie game. You can definitely tell it's an indie game, like right out of the gate. There are things that it's an early access first and foremost. So there are things that like don't work. There are things that don't not well, yeah, I had some issues, glitches, but before we talk about all that, I want to talk about like what the actual game is. So Demon Loop is a turn-based tabletop game. It's made by hold on, I need to pull up because I want to know the guy that like created it is some big name person, and they tout it like very first thing that you see right out of the gate. Okay, so Demon Loop is a digital board game from renowned tabletop author Alexander Pfister. Don't know if you guys are familiar with tabletop games. Maybe you know who this is.
Maybe
I have no idea.
We should know who that is. I don't know.
I don't know. But essentially, this is a like story or a turn-based deck building card game. And the objective is you are on this loop, and you essentially get cards, and then you are to have to go to the different colored spots to activate those cards and use them. So you can see like I have like a green card that says like chop wood, or a red card that says like do XYZ. And at its very base, like when I first started playing, I was like, wow, this seems super easy, because like you also have to go around the board, and you'll see like there's these little huts that you have to get to, and you're able to like use their ability, which is like obtain 1 influence, or spend 4 influence and gain 2 wood, and then from there you have to use that wood to gain merit, and that's like maybe what you have to do to accomplish. You have to gain 5 merit to accomplish the mission for that area. So at first glance, I was like, wow, this seems like really easy. This seems, I am frozen. What is going on with my camera? That's awesome.
He's stuck in a loop.
I am stuck in a
the
loop.
demon loop.
You may just have to see me stuck like this, because I don't know what's going on with my camera.
The entire cast.
Couldn't tell you what's wrong with the webcam.
He's
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
I mean, I could, but I don't know what that might do.
Go for
it. Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
Test it out.
Good. Why not?
try it.
You know,
Disable my camera
live.
and turn it back on.
Worst comes to worst, it breaks the entire podcast.
Yeah, it's not like that hasn't happened before.
Hello, am I back? I'm moving.
Hello.
There we go. Okay, don't know what happened there.
Right.
Awesome. Hey, like I said, it wouldn't be the pre-patch podcast if a tech issue would not happen.
I don't know. I don't quite know what you were saying. But this looks a lot like Loop Heroes to me. But in a way that you kind of can go directional. Like you don't have to go in one path. It looks like, right?
No. So you can go in any kind of direction that you want. And the cards that you get have different, like you either can use them or you can spin them to move. So in each card has like a movement number associated with it.
Cool.
But essentially once you get to an encounter where like and you might have a mission where you don't have to fight anything at all, and then there's missions that are just like, hey, manage resources, do XYZ. But when you do get to an encounter that has you have to fight something, you then are using cards in your deck to get a certain amount of rolls or dice that you use to roll, and you match those numbers up to what you saw on the screen there, where like it may have like a troll that has like a 4, then it connects down to a 3, then it connects down to a 1, and you have to match the numbers or beat the numbers essentially to beat the boss or beat the whatever it may be. This game does a very good job of like stacking all of these like kind of what at first seems very, very like simple actually turns into a very complicated game. And I was actually really surprised, because when I was first playing it, I was just like, wow, this is super boring. They probably could do a little bit better with the tutorial, but like there just doesn't seem like a lot of action going on. You're just running around in a circle, and it seems very easy. I got 2 missions outside of the main tutorial and got my ass handed to me, because like you get these guys that are like destroying the town, which are these buildings around you. You have to like repair them. You got to like manage all these different resources. If you ever played Catan, it's very much like Catan in the sense of like, I have to manage all this stuff while also trying to win a game and raise a civilization.
That seems to be this guy's kind of like one of his things that he does. I'm looking up some of his games, and I don't know if you guys play board games or anything, but Great Western Trail is one that I'm familiar with, and it kind of has that like that ramp very quickly style design with a lot of moving parts. So I can imagine it getting pretty complicated as the game goes on.
Yeah. And again, it's not. I'm not familiar with that game at all, but I do like board games, and I do enjoy games like this. And I don't know, it's really cool. Like honestly, like it's in early access right now. You can pick it up for $12 or 13. And you know, it's got positive reviews. I think that something like this is very unique. Because again, like you talk about, like I like Slay the Spire, I like deck building games.
Duck building.
My son was talking about
I like duck building.
Yeah.
my son was talking to me about Duckside all day, so like I have Duckside on my brain. But
Fuck is duck side?
It's
Rust,
literally
but you're
dead.
Ducks.
Yeah, dead side,
Or
but
dead
you're a
side,
duck.
yeah.
So anyway, but
Yeah.
I go back to this. It's really cool because I like games like Hero Loop, right? I like games like Slay the Spire, and this does a really great job of putting it all together. So I really recommend it. Again, Magnolia Games developed it with the helps of Hydra Games, and it was self-published by Magnolia Games. I definitely recommend go try it out. It is a really fun time.
I feel like this would be a great game to have a demo. I'm surprised they don't.
Yeah, I don't know if they did have one before.
Maybe before, yeah.
Or open.
I'm
tests,
pretty sure they had one during the Games Fest because this was one of the games that I was looking
okay.
at possibly playing, and I don't remember if I actually put any time into it.
Yeah,
I think doesn't ring a bell.
I think this actually, from what I'm reading in the comments, this actually might be a board game already, and they are bringing it to the PC.
It looks very board game-esque, so I
wouldn't
could
surprise
definitely.
me. Yeah,
Yeah, I could
they've got
definitely
that.
see
They've got that other game. I think it's of Mice and Men. They've got a video game. I've heard that was really good. And then that's a full conversion.
Is
from
that a video
board
game
as well.
I just
adaptation
want to pet
of
the
the
web,
book?
George.
Of the book Mice and Men? There's a board game adaptation of the book, and there's a video game adaptation of the board game that's an
I
adaptation of the
might
book.
be speaking. It's of Mice and something. I don't. It might not be of Mice.
It's
and
of
Men.
Mice and Men. That's wild to me. Oh,
I think I know what you're talking about.
like,
I definitely don't think it's of Mice and Men.
if it is that, honest to God, they should just didn't do one of War and Peace. Why not? Like we're going. For
Is it
fucking,
Mice and Magic? It might be Mice
I
and
was
Magic.
saying-
I can't remember.
What?
Mice
my
and
God.
Mystics.
Okay,
That's it.
I
That's
was
it.
like,
That's
Mice
it.
and Men. That's a movie. That's an adaptation of a book.
It's not of Mice and Moggies.
Oh my God.
Nah,
How
that's not
many-
the one.
okay, all right. Let's bring it back.
We're having too much fun.
Anyway, so yeah, so
Smash my mic.
Demon Loop, $13. If you're a fan of Slay the Spire, if you're a fan of Demon Loop, this is Demon Loop. If you're a fan of Hero Loop or Loop Hero, yeah. And if you're a fan of board games, I definitely recommend giving it a shot. I don't think that you'll be disappointed at all. You know, like I said, there are some bugs. I got some like audio glitches where like sound wasn't working whenever I was, you know, attacking somebody, but those are minor things that you can kind of overlook for a $13 game in early access. It's still it really is fun. It's a fun little game. And I definitely recommend
looks like it.
giving it a shot.
Yeah.
So I always look at these card roguelikes or whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, man, that I really want to play that, and then I never fucking do. I really need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
This would be a great
You just,
Steam
you
Deck
just
game.
look at it.
100%.
Yeah, I'm with you on that
really
one.
great Steam Deck game.
Yo, did you enjoy this episode of the Patch Notes? You did? Great. Then you should hang out with us live every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. But in case you missed us, you can always listen over at anchor.fm/prepatch podcast or any podcast platform at your convenience. This was Scruffy, signing off.